Everyone loves happy hour, and no one makes an hour happier than actress, comedian, author, host, and self-proclaimed hat girl, Dee Dee Sorvino, who each show serves up an hour of good times and great conversation. Food, culture, fashion, current events, history, or just good gossip. Grab a cocktail and take a seat as Dee Dee shares stories, talks with friends, and makes you wish you could keep the bar tab open all night. Where there's a party, there's Dee Dee, and you are invited. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Drinks with Dee Dee. Here's your host, Dee Dee Sorvino.
Welcome, everyone. I am so happy to be doing this show today. I'm Dee Dee Sorvino, your host. And that means you are in for a big treat because I am the host with the most that connects all the good people, including the audience. And our guest today, it's all family. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. But we do have a very special celebrity guest today. She was on the show before, and she is the wife and widow of Tommy The Duke Morrison. Please give a warm welcome to Trisha Morrison.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
So happy to have you back. And of course, we've got Michael Gilkison, who actually has a very special role today, and lots to talk about. We have Sue Ann Falkenburg. We have Stephanie. Stephanie, you got to help me with the last name because I feel like I'm going to mess it up.
Janiczek.
See, I would have totally messed that up. And Tommy's supposed to be joining. And
I'm here.
He is here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, he is here.
Oh, okay, my apologies. Okay, there he is. All right, very nice. Okay, the whole gang's here. And for you regular listeners, you know, we always like to take care of family. We always like to take care of our regulars. And if they're doing something fun, and we like to promote it. But this is a two for today because we had Trisha Morrison, who is, again, the widow of Tommy the Gun Morrison. Tommy the Duke. I'm sorry, sometimes I have to say it, the gun.
Right.
For the Rocky movie. So I think of him that way as well. We all do. And she has just been fighting such a big, important fight. And my heart's been breaking for you, Trisha, this whole time because it's like, how is this not happening? How are you not getting justice? How are you not able, because you're getting the truth out, but it seems like no one's listening. And I don't understand it because it's such a compelling story, which we'll talk about and review again. And so for about a year now, we had you on about a year ago, I think. And thinking this has got to work. Let's help promote this. Let's make this happen that you can get the real story out about Tommy. And now it's going to happen. It's meant to be. It's so exciting. And Trisha, why don't you, for folks who weren't able to listen to the last show, it's been a little while, it's been a minute. Trisha, why don't you tell us what you've been up to in your tribute to Tommy and what you've been trying to do and your mission?
Yeah, thank you, Dee Dee. And it's nice to be on your show again. Is it really almost a year? I can't believe that.
A little less than a year, but still, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah. It's been a very busy 10 years. Tommy passed away actually September 1, 2013. And that's coming up next week, in fact. So it'll be 10 years. And I have not stopped fighting for him. And there's a lot to be known about Tommy the Duke Morrison, Tommy Gunn, from my side of the story. And, as a widow, I think that it will make sense to a lot of widows that don't stop fighting for their husbands once they've gone. And we just continue to fight. And especially in Tommy's case, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know that happened during his life and during our marriage that I think will interest a lot of people. Yeah.
So Trisha, what's so wonderful about this, because I just love you and I just feel for you and my heart breaks for you. But now I think it's a happy heart because things are going to move along and you're going to be able to get your story out. Happy to have a little part in that. And Michael, why don't we bring you in and why don't you tell us how you and Trisha are working together? What's up? What's up, Michael?
Hey. Well, we're officially announcing and the Dee Dee
and Trisha and myself are executive producing a love story. Trisha and Tommy Morrison, a love story. So,
Woo! All right.
Wow, that's
Because
incredible.
there's
so exciting.
There's a lot of docs out there, and
Yeah.
I believe Trisha will tell more, but they're doing an official documentary in the UK, and the approach we're taking is I just want to know more about the love story, and I think that's gonna hook a lot of people in, because a love story really always hooks everyone. Let's face it. So, and that's how I see it too. So, yeah, that's kind of the approach we're gonna take thus far.
I mean, this woman for a decade, Michael, and of course you were on the show last time, and I think you wanted to kind of jump in, but you had other movies, you got other stuff going on, so timing is everything. And of course, for me, being a widow that had to fight for Paul with the Oscars now, which was ridiculous. Now, of course, that's small next to Trisha's battle, but to me, it was big. As the widow, it was big. I was just absolutely devastated and so upset. You all remember that. We did a show about it, about how they snubbed Paul at the Oscars, and in memoriam. And how do you snub Paul Sorvino? How does that happen at the Oscars?
Yeah.
He's done 200 movies. He's a legend, and they put him in the QR code and not part of the show. Yeah, screw you, Academy. Screw you. So that's why I'm like, and Trisha, I'm with you. Let's do this. Michael, you're in good hands with Michael.
And to
you
me,
know your stuff.
I
You've
think
got all the details. Let's just do it. And a love story is appropriate because, my gosh, there are so many people grieving, and I just run across it all the time about how people just they're just upset and grieving. And for those, our loved ones who aren't here anymore, we have to fight the fight like Trisha. And Trisha's got a bigger fight than probably anyone I've ever seen as a widow.
Yeah, it's true. It was Tommy's story has been suppressed, and as Michael said, there is an official documentary coming out on Tommy, and I'm so excited about that. And it'll be a documentary as told by Tommy, how he lived and breathed it. And that I know will be a huge success. But in addition, a love story, Tommy and Trisha, there was a love story too. And you can't fit all that into an official documentary. That has to be totally separate. And it'll reach a lot of different people out there that hopefully will continue to fight for their husbands, whether they're celebrities or not. My husband was human. He was a human being. And a lot of people, forget that, and they treat him like, I don't know, like somebody bad, somebody to bring in seats and pay-per-views and stuff like that. But they forget that, he woke up every morning and drank coffee, took the garbage out, and was a human being. And I think people need to see that. And, to do this with Michael, I think will be great, because it'll be a lot of fun as well as a lot of truth coming out. So I'm happy for this. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that.
Well,
Thank
look,
you.
Trisha, you're just as, in my opinion, I mean, no disrespect to Tommy, because of course I love him, everybody does, in the Rocky movies and as a boxer, but you're kind of my hero or heroine. I mean, so I look forward to this because I think you deserve to have a star role in the documentary with everything you've done. And also being a fellow widow, or is it fellow widow? To being a widow as well. I mean, I understand and feel you, and there are so many other widows out there that have been in the same position. So you're like our leader. You're like, you're going to lead the charge with this. And you stuck with it for 10 years. 10 years. It's been agonizing for me with one, but you 10 years. My gosh, I just admire you so much. And what lady was, Stephanie Sue Ann and also Tommy. I mean, what do you all think about this? Don't you think it's amazing?
It's incredible. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, I think it's great.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
If this was my husband, I'd probably be doing the same. I know I'd be doing the same thing. I know it.
No, you'd be in jail.
Yes, you would.
Maybe.
Be honest.
Jail. I would too. I mean, Trisha, I admire her. She's such a lady, and she's so great about how she presents herself. And Michael, look, you were brilliant to go that angle. I mean, good for you. I mean, it's so smart.
Oh,
and it's exactly what you should be doing, and Trisha deserves
and
that.
I think it's timely, especially now that it's been 10 years. And going
Yeah,
that
time,
route and
hell
really
yeah.
putting such
Time.
a human and love story approach to it, I think is genius.
Yeah, and I want to add that the world needs to hear this now, especially.
Absolutely.
In general, out there, a romance and love, a real one between a man and a woman, it's needed right now because there's a void. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a real romance. 10 years. The woman is not giving up. She is stalwart. She's determined every day. It just probably every hour thinking, what am I going to do? And now it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was exciting. It was exciting to speak to Michael about it. You know, the limelight was never on me, and it still isn't on me. You know, a love story, you'll get to find out more probably about Tommy's love story with me than me with Tommy. But
No. Both of you, for sure. Both of you together.
Definitely.
So, Trisha, we're not going to let you get away with that. You're the big star, and we love you for that. And Tommy as well, of course, but so are you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. This morning, I picked up a piece of paper, and I didn't even know we were going to do this show. And it hit home, and I wrote it down. It must have been a few years ago. And it says, a promise is a promise, but be willing to take criticism from living relatives.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
We should keep our promises to those living and dead. And we need to keep doing that.
So, Trisha, as a fellow widow, can someone help me out? I feel like I'm not saying it right. Is it a fellow widow? Because that's like a boy. Am I not doing this right? But anyway.
I don't think there's a word for that. So you're good.
I know. I'm trying to think. You know, I'm pretty good wordsmith usually, but I can't think of anything else. But so I always feel Paul's presence. I feel like Paul is always with me. Do you feel that, Trisha? Is that a strange question for you?
No, not strange at all. Absolutely, he's with me. You know, there'll be certain signs, whether it's in the clouds or papers or something will happen. It's like, wow, yeah.
I think it's cool how there are signs that are given to us from our loved ones that have passed on. Every once in a while, I'll have a dream about my mom, and I feel like she's just there to check in on me. I think that our loved ones are with us all the time.
Yeah,
they are. They are. Tell you a story. When I first went home after I moved to DC and got married, I had a telegram from President Reagan. And I think I've told you the story before. But I hadn't been home in a while. I didn't have the telegram. And I thought something nefarious had happened to it. Well, walk into the house. My mom is sitting there, and my sister Joan, everyone's like, blah, 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 crying and happy. I looked at my husband and I said, I know where the telegram is. Something just told me where it was. And the only person that would have been able to tell it, because my mom wouldn't have, is my dad. So I walk in to my mom's closet, which is like packed with coats that she never wore, but she never got rid of. And it's like going through the wardrobe in Narnia. Split it open finally. There's a box on top of several other boxes. And I open it up, and there's the scrapbook with my telegram.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Was there. He was there. And like the last time I went home before my mom died, it was like he had finally, okay, she's fine. I'm going. Okay. And that's what I got from it. That's what I got from being home the last time, but they are there and they watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they
if you
are.
drink, and you know, if you see a cardinal bird, that's them checking up on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Their dad always called cardinals God's Christmas ornaments, which they kind of are because they're so pretty. But
yes,
you know, so when you see one,
yeah. Just something that happened a couple of days ago, and Dee Dee, you'll laugh at this because you see a lot of my posts on Twitter, right? And, somebody just really jealous had posted on Facebook, but literally to hundreds and thousands of people, that Tommy was out of his mind meeting me and out of his mind marrying me, right? Can you imagine reading
Wow.
that on Facebook? And so I read that, and then that evening I got home, and lying on the table where I have lots of papers because I still work on stuff for him, there were his MRI results, MRI and MRA results of when he met me, that showed that he was absolutely in his right mind.
Wow.
Just totally,
I love it.
totally out of the blue.
That's cool.
You know, and these are MRI and MRA results going back to 2010, 2011. So I thought, all right, Tommy, yeah, I'll post those. So I posted them. And I said, so you're saying he was out of his mind to meet me and marry me? But here it clearly says, you know, on an MRI that he was just fine. I mean, just
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that happens all the time. You know, and you, Dee Dee, with Goodfellas and everything, right? You know, that was one of the last movies that Tommy rented. Okay.
That makes me tear up, by the way.
Yeah, unbelievable.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah. And you know what would tear up more is that if Blockbusters was still in business, I'd owe a lot of late fees, right?
I think we all would.
I think there's one in Oregon, so just don't go to Oregon.
There's one.
Oh no, yeah, because the ticket, I've got it. It's dated 2011, and he was a huge fan of your husband. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, thank goodness Blockbusters is not in business. I would owe a lot of late fees on your movie, right?
I would love Tommy, and Paul loved that movie. I mean, we watched Tommy in the movie, and he's so good, and he's a doll. I mean, and it was a compelling movie because, you know, Paul's more of a patriarch type. So, you know, the patriarch, that story resonated with him and certainly me. So it's just, you know, I mean, it's so iconic and it's so important. And I really think that this is going to be big. I do. And, you know, and I'm just going to be bold here. And I think this dog's going to be better than the other one. I'm sure the Brits will be fine, but this is better.
You know what?
The American love story is better. I'm just saying.
Yeah, an
American style. And I know, Trisha, with your accent. Now, where were you born? I have to ask, but you know I'm going to go pro USA, USA always. But where were you born?
Right. Actually, I was born on the Cape Verde Islands, which were owned by Portugal. My parents happened to be there when I was born. But I was brought up in England and South America and a little bit of Holland and everywhere. But
you are so fancy. You're so fancy and pretty, and I love it. And you know, and when we do all the red carpets with documentary, I'm just going to be happy to know you. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. London calling, blah, 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 blah. I like it. So hey, you guys. So, what is the timing for the docs? I mean, what will come out first, and what are you thinking? And you know, what do you all think? What's coming first? Do you know,
Michael?
Probably. So, depending, I'd like to have this out by December, but you never know. You never know. I tend to move very fast.
He does.
I've been getting all kinds of signs to do this as well. I know Tommy lived in Oklahoma for a bit. I've met more people from Oklahoma the past 3 weeks since I decided to do it than I think ever. I heard a Billy Joe Shaver song the other day called Oklahoma Wind.
Yeah, but Michael, look, I mean,
it's just all kinds of signs.
I'm glad you did that. But no. The big sign is this. Trisha was on Drinks with Dee Dee. You were there.
Yeah,
you
of course.
Do it.
Of course, that's another one. That's another one.
You were busy with stuff. And you have been such a great ally and friend, just like all of you have been, about the widow situation, which is heartbreaking when you're a widow and you lose the love of your life. And, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody was moved by the show you're on, Trisha. And, you know, I felt like Mike wanted to do it then, but it just wasn't the right time.
I really did.
Now is the right time.
Well, and
I think it will be huge.
And I rewatched the hit job, the ESPN 30 for 30, because I was watching those when I was after I finished my movie. And at the beginning of it, the guy said every fight with Tommy was like a race to the finish line. And that's the name of my film that I just finished.
I like that.
Oh,
wow.
how funny.
That is
So the real,
awesome.
the
That
real
is
that
race,
gave me
interesting.
chills.
the real race to the finish line is everybody knowing the truth about Tommy and Trisha and
Mhm.
getting it out there to people.
Yeah.
And I think now is the time to do it culturally and morally, ethically, however you want to say. It's way long overdue.
Way long
Fighting-
overdue. But here's the thing. It's
Yeah.
the right time. So
Yeah.
even though it was painful for Trisha to have to go year after year after year, my gosh, I love you so much, Trisha. I don't know if I could have done it. I think you're stronger than any woman I know in the widow world. I mean, I feel so weak and pathetic and just trying to hang on in 1 year, let alone 10 years. So I just admire what you're doing so much. And the fact that Michael saw this is the hook, not to, be glib about it. I mean, but this is the love story is a big part of this. And when he showed me kind of what you are going to do, what we will do, because for me, being a fellow widow, I want to be like, yeah, this is all about Trisha. Tommy is going to get his due as he should, but I want you to get your due as well as a fellow widow, since we don't know another word for it.
Yeah, because when the two marry, they become one. So I really
That's
want
right.
it to be
That's right.
one unit.
So Trisha, don't ever say, you're not the star, because you both are. Because it was that kind of relationship. Paul and I thought the same way. And people need that right now. It's like, wow, look at what this woman did. She just kept fighting and fighting and fighting for 10 years. And Tommy was a fighter to the finish line. And again, to Michael's point, his last movie, The Finish Line, he needed to finish the finish line before he did this. It's almost confusing, but I think we all get it. What do you all think?
And another thing, they in the 30 for 30 doc, they're like, oh yeah, Tommy, they're saying Tommy got a spider bite and it really affected him badly. And I'm putting my arm like this purposefully. This is from a spider bite.
And that's so germane, isn't it? That just makes so much sense to bring that up.
Oh, wow.
Well, here's a guitar pick. I'll put a guitar pick over the scar.
All right, move your arm a little bit.
You have to move your arm into the,
There you go. Now you're in.
Oh, there you go.
No, don't go too far. Oh, you're too far.
Back up a little bit.
Tommy.
There. All right, now
Tommy.
remove that.
See it now?
As Michael's showing a spider bite, Tommy, you're a movie maker too. So what do you think about all this?
I think it's great. I love a good love story, especially a real one.
As opposed to all the LA fake ones. I mean, we all know
No.
there are so many.
Yeah.
I know.
And there's so many
know.
glib things happening in the world right now that we really need to see this. This is going to be so poignant, and so the timing could not have been better.
So Trisha, even though you had to wait 10 years, I agree with everybody here that it's the right time. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially everything going on in the world. This is the perfect time for you two to do this and to show real love between a man and a woman, a real man and a woman.
Yeah.
And Tommy's had to deal with this too. And Tommy, if you don't mind, if it doesn't hurt too much, you can talk about your love story with Lydia, and then you have a fight on your own.
Yeah,
Of your own. Not on your own, because we're with you, but of your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have a love story, and it's a very beautiful one. And she's been very ill for a while, and almost lost her not too long ago, and it was very scary and very frightening, and she's on a long road to recovery. I worry every day about it. Not as much as I was worrying, because they found some things and took care of it, but
but
Dee Dee,
still,
It was pretty frightening.
yeah,
when you think you're going to lose the love of your life, it's terrifying and upsetting. And and you and Lydia have had a bit of a battle for a while, so we're all worried for her, and we want the best for her. But you have a real love story as well, and I think we all do. We're all in good well, I'm not in a good relationship anymore, other than with Paul, who is around in spirit, just like Trisha. But the rest of you are able to have lovely relationships, and I'm so happy for that. And Trisha probably agrees with me that she's off for love now, so she's happy for other people that have love. but yeah, I mean, but you have that for your bride, and she's been sick, so you're in a battle right now. You're in a fight like Tommy the Duke, Tommy, and it's Tommy Gunn, Tommy Gunn, Tommy Gunn.
Yeah. And I find it really ironic how people go after the spouse of the person who's sick.
Yeah,
It's
no
like
shit.
if I
What
do
the hell's that
something,
about?
it's like, oh no, you should be with your wife right now. Or, we have our lives too. I mean, we can multitask, and I'm with her as much as I can, and to the point where she gets sick of it and says, "Get out of here, go do something."
Trisha, can you believe that they would give Tommy, our other Tommy, a hard time because it's like, you're not in the hospital around 24. I mean, what? I mean, hello? It's
if
so
I'm
hard.
sick, I want to be
It's
left
so hard.
alone, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I told somebody just the other day, I said, "You have no idea of our relationship, so don't weigh in on it."
So zip
Yeah.
it. So Trisha,
can't
like you have so
believe
many
you
details
do that.
about what happened with Tommy. And I remember when Paul was sick, we were in all these hospitals, and I would watch everybody's like, "Wow, you could be a nurse," and I'm like, "Yeah, because you're not one, because you're not paying attention." Just like you with Tommy. I mean, dealing with all the details, because there was like, "Oh, he's got AIDS or this." What? Excuse me? Really?
Oh my God.
Jerk offs? You can't just say that. I'm the widow. This is the love of my life, and you're not getting away with it. And you are about to succeed and show them all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we get this done, Michael, I will email it to certain locations so that people can see it. For example, there was one nurse that said that she wouldn't give Tommy any CPR, but she would give CPR to Magic Johnson, right? And she
Ew. Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
she flat
Oh,
out said
no.
that to me. So
That is disgusting.
I
Yeah.
can't even, I
That's-
mean, that was the worst thing I've heard in probably a year. And I've heard a
Yeah,
lot about
that's
I
I
think
can't-
that's the worst thing I've heard in a year.
yeah.
Oh,
In other words, that Magic Johnson wasn't in denialism, but Tommy was, right? So
That's just sickening.
it's
in our movie, Michael, they'll find out what I did about that comment, right? But there's all kinds of stuff, and I totally agree with Tommy. Tommy, who you have your wife who's not very well. Yeah, people don't understand, what you do, with your spouse, whether it's in hospital, at home, or wherever. So,
Right.
yeah.
So Trisha, I want to ask you because my gosh, I mean, and I just feel like you're such a sister to me in this, because with Paul, I had to deal with things and the sickness, and then him dying, and then after he died, and with you much longer.
Yeah.
But for you, the whole experience, what do you think has been the most poignant, most difficult part of this?
I mean, the whole thing is difficult.
Of course.
The whole thing, when you're actually married, nobody bothers you, and then suddenly everything changes when that person dies. And I think that happens to a lot of people, whether they're celebrities or not. Suddenly, the financial side gets involved, the belongings, the ashes, the grave, the headstone. I mean, just every aspect that.
But no disrespect to anyone who is not married to a celebrity, but it does add an extra level of complexity.
Yeah.
Because you're not. You can't be private. It's impossible for privacy, and that's and the only thing you want is your privacy at that moment.
It prolongs the mourning process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. It does.
You know what? It's not only just the privacy, that every time somebody uses privacy, it kind of reminds me of, Harry and Meghan wanting their privacy, right?
But they don't.
But watch our documentary, but read our book, but check out our.
We want our privacy.
Look at my legs, look at my shoes. What am I wearing?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Trisha, we're bad.
We are.
But we love you.
I'm thinking South Park right now. I'm sorry, but the South Park they did.
That's right.
South Park was hilarious.
You just opened Pandora's box.
I see.
Take this
talk to my
cruise.
wife like that.
We're
Yeah.
like, yeah, right. We love you,
My-
but not so much some of the others. That's all.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, Michael, you definitely need to see that South Park because that is pretty hidden. That actually reminds me of the ESPN 30 for 30 on Tommy. Is that South Park part?
Oh, that's
But yeah,
funny.
it's not just the privacy or the privacy, however you want to say it, but it's how things get twisted out in the
Yeah.
media, and you're portrayed as the wicked widow, right? And that's something that needs to get cleared up, and I'm looking forward to doing that as well.
How could anyone think you're the wicked widow? I mean, in what world is that the case, Trisha? Seriously. I mean, all you're doing is fighting for your husband. I
Dee
get
Dee,
that.
I'll tell you this. What stuck out is she was telling me that for the 30 for 30 doc, they weren't even going to interview her. And then not at all. She had to contact them. And then she did a 3-hour interview. And I think they used not even 15 seconds total.
Yeah, because they
had
from a
God.
3-hour
agenda
interview
against Tommy. They had an agenda against Tommy. And so,
Yeah.
and Trisha's very beautiful. She's articulate. I mean, they don't want her part of that because they had a mission. Well, too bad. Guess what? This doc is going to totally decimate them as well as and I hope the UK doc. So Trisha, do you have like good vibes about the UK doc? Do you think they'll do a good job?
Yeah, absolutely, they will. They will do a fantastic job. And what Michael and I are going to work on is going to be more of a private love story. Whereas the UK documentary will be Tommy, as Tommy lived and breathed his own life, as told by Tommy. So I think between the two documentaries out there, we're going to hit a lot of people, and it's going to be exciting. Yeah,
That's great. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Who's doing it,
That's
Trisha?
awesome.
who's doing it in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small company, but with a lot of heart to them.
And that's better. That's better. That's what you want.
That's really good. Very good.
Yeah, that's very good.
I mean,
it's very
definitely, you don't want Tommy's story to be picked up by Disney or Netflix.
God, no.
Oh my God.
And then they bury it.
That would be a disaster.
Yeah,
They'll buy it and they'll bury it. So
guys want to see Disney stocks
Trisha,
today?
there have been a lot of documentaries. I mean, in my opinion, and Michael knows what he's doing, and I'll help it along the way anytime I can with the Widows crew and with helping to promote, and happy to put everything together because it was meant to be. By the way, this is meant to be.
Yeah.
You deserve your due. And I'm just so thrilled that Michael thought a love story, and that's exactly what it should be. And poor Michael's been living with my grief for the last year, he gets it. He gets a widow thing. He came to my celebration of life for Paul, so he's seen that. So my guess, and I'm hoping, the stars aligned, and you deserve your due. Tommy is going to get his due, as he should. Thank goodness, finally. But the love story is a big deal too, because you've been at this for a decade. Decade. Most women would give up, not because they want to, because they just couldn't handle it. But you did it. You're still here. You're working on it. You're going to have your voice. It's going to be a love story. Couldn't be more excited for you.
Yeah. I think people need to see the legal side of everything that we've gone through. And I always say we, because it is just Tommy and I that have gone through it. But to go to the U.S. Supreme Court twice on the same lawsuit, it certainly wasn't a waste of time. There was a lot of stuff that came out in that 10-year lawsuit, but just all kinds of things that happened getting to the U.S. Supreme Court, and there's still stuff happening. The story will probably, it doesn't really have an ending yet.
Right.
Oh, it's the truth is.
I have to run, guys. I got to run into the doctor. But
okay.
Good luck with
Great
that.
Tell Lydia.
Bye,
We love her.
I
Say hi to
will.
Lydia.
I'll tell
Yeah. Give
I
her
will
lots
tell
of love.
everybody. Trisha,
Yeah.
it's been wonderful.
You too. Take care.
You go, girl. Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tom.
The truth is the truth. And that's the most important thing. And the truth is what really happened. And I watched that documentary on ESPN, and look, ESPN is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Screw
And
them.
they have an agenda. It is a very partisan agenda, which is not truth-based. And the truth is, unvarnished truth can be ugly. It can be beautiful. It can be real. And that's what we're looking for, right?
But this is powerful. Tommy Guy got screwed. Let's just face it.
That's his part of the truth.
Widow
that is the truth.
Fighting for the truth, and she's going to win in the end, and it will be a beacon of hope for all the widows and for all the love stories and the boxers or whatever. I mean, she's going to expose all this with Michael and with me helping a bit. So it is very exciting in a way that is just compelling, touching, meant to be. Trisha, you're the bomb.
Yeah. Thank
You're
you.
the
You
bomb.
are.
Yeah.
I'm just here. I'm just here as I'm your groupie. I'm your groupie.
You are.
Oh, groupie.
I mean, holding up the signs. And by the way, I wanted you to tell everybody. Tell us about Tommy's son. Is he still like boxing? What's going on? Because we were talking about going to a fight together. What's going on with him?
Right.
Anything recently or what?
No, nothing recently. Everything's pretty quiet. So,
That's okay.
He's doing his thing.
Well, with you having not one but 2 docs coming out, pretty great. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of Michael, and I just think it's so meant to be, and and the stars of the line, and it's really going to be lovely. The world needs love right now. There's so much going on that's not good, and it's so bad that with what happened with Tommy, that they treated him unfairly, and you're going to uncover this, and and that's more the other doc, but that the love that you have for him makes you work for it for a decade. Let's not forget that. A decade. I'm in agony at 1 year. 1 year, folks. 1 year. Look at this woman. I am like, I'm not worthy. You are so amazing. So anything I can do, I'm going to, and you want to go down, you want me to kick Don King in the balls, I will do it. And ask anybody here, they know I will.
Yeah, you will. And I'll film it. I'll film it, and then I'll do it. And you can film me doing it.
No, I'll go to jail. I'll go to jail, but I'll do it for you.
I'm going to bring a microphone to get good sound on it. Get really tight on that.
Trisha can too. We'll all be in the same jail cell.
Kicking Don King in the balls. For you, I'll go to jail.
We might have to get 8 or 9 takes, just so you know. You might have to keep doing it so that we get the right angle.
I have so many questions about why he would say that when he knew it wasn't true. And you know what I'm talking about? It's beyond that, Dick. It's evil. It is evil to do that.
Pure evil. And I've been so angry that nobody, and Trisha, I don't mean to say this wrong way, but I feel like nobody's paid attention to Trisha, which has pissed me off beyond belief.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I am not going to finish until she gets her due. And then Michael stepped up out of the blue one day. He wanted to do it before, but he was busy. He's got stuff going on. And then, we had even worked with another person that didn't really quite work out. Great people, though. And then Michael, out of the blue, as I'm thinking about Trisha, and I'm thinking about being sad about being a widow. And then I'm talking to another friend who lost a spouse, and we're all just miserable. It's so sad because we miss the loves of our lives. And then Michael popped up. Dee Dee, what's going on with this? I said, well, I don't think there's going on anything yet. And he said, well, I'm ready to do it. I said, great. Thank God. Let's do this. Let's help this woman. Let's make it work. Let's make it happen. So guess what? It's happening. It's happening. Trisha, you deserve this. God bless you. And there'll be a lot of widows, and Tommy deserves this. Tommy got screwed over. He deserves it, but you deserve it as well. You got screwed over as well. You are not treated fairly. Like, you say the evil widow, which is ridiculous, but because you have the truth, because you know the truth, and they didn't want it out. But guess what? It's coming.
Yeah. Well, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Trisha,
Please.
was there money involved? Because I'm trying to figure out why they would put you in that position. Was there any like?
You mean why would they screw Tommy over?
Yeah. Why would they say what they said?
Why did they say he had HIV?
Yeah.
Yes,
Is there
that's
like
what he's
money
asking.
involved, or
Well, he had just signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Don King to fight Mike Tyson.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of people that are boxers out there, or the boxing world, that think the same way as Tommy thought, that Tommy would beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Of course he would have.
He would have.
And there you go. Continue.
I am not gonna
go. AIDS.
I'm not gonna say this in public why I think they did that, and it has to do with money.
No, because
but
Tommy
things.
wouldn't beat his ass, and they didn't want that, so they made up this shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it stuck because I'm not going to say this either because it's politically incorrect.
Yeah,
but I look at the media.
Stephanie,
when have you become politically correct?
Okay.
You know what?
The reason why there's money involved with Don King, but there are people in the media that really want everybody to be like them, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And if this guy who's married to a woman and he's got a child with if he has AIDS, well then, geez, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, that's not how it works. This was a lie. And you guys are perpetuating it.
Why do you think they picked AIDS? It's such a weird, why did they pick that to take him out? What do you think?
Well, actually about 2 months ago, a lady, her name is Angelique McQueen, she approached me and she said that her boxer had just signed on with Don King, and Don King had told her boxer, this was in 2011, that for him not to worry about his medicals because he paid off the doctors.
Oh, Lord.
So the boxer, whose name was Omar Henry, who mysteriously died in 2013, the same year Tommy died.
Oh my God.
Had told Angelique about this conversation, that Don King had actually said that he had paid off a doctor in Vegas to say that Tommy had a blood disease to get him out of boxing. And apparently the doctor or whoever had chosen HIV as being the disease.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And of course, Don King couldn't take that back, right? Because, supposedly when you have HIV or AIDS, that's it. There's no cure for it. So, so that just came out 2 months ago. And she started to do interviews as well. And you need to get her onto your podcast because she is absolutely amazing. She is so apologetic that she did not say something back in 2011. And anyway, so the stories come out, but just like me, it's being suppressed, right? So it's all very, very interesting. Now, the one thing I want to say is that people can lie. People can say you've got HIV, you've got AIDS, some test results could be false positive. You could test false positive on certain tests, but human cells don't lie, right? I can show you pictures of Tommy's cells inside his body that show he had no HIV and no AIDS. So that's pretty huge, and that's something that I hope Michael will focus on, is the science behind everything that's been, uncovered.
Well, Trisha, I think that why this has taken so long is because now it's totally believable, because after the last election and the COVID BS, at least half the country, the United States is split in half. But the red people are like, this is bullshit. Now we know it. Yeah. Screw you for lying and making us give up our businesses, whatever. So people are angry. So about the lies of this. So I think the reason this has taken so long, and I'm so sorry it was harder on you than it took so long, but now people are ready to accept that, yeah, hello, Fauci liar. You know what? This was not true. This was made up to push your agenda. So now this is completely believable when Tommy, and we know it's true, but now everyone else will know it's true. So I think that's why the timing is what it is. Everybody's going to go, absolutely. We've all experienced this lie and this crap and whatever, because we had to deal with the fake pandemic. And poor Tommy, poor Tommy got screwed over. So I think the timing's right. Tommy's right.
And Dee Dee, the Nevada State Athletic Commission that really screwed him over. Now that some time has passed, Conor McGregor. A lot of people have heard of Conor McGregor. He will not fight in the state of Nevada ever again because of that commission. So what does that tell you?
Good for him.
What does that tell you?
It's one of those things where you want to ask a mafia guy, what's going on? Because that sounds
I think we all know. We don't even have to ask the mafia guy.
No.
It's a total crap.
Dee Dee, can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Can you approach Michael Franzese to come on?
Sure.
I would love to talk to him.
Okay. Done.
There's so much underground crap that people take for, okay, this is the way it is. No, it's not. And now that we've got the internet.
We'll do that. But for now, with Trisha and Vegas, and I'm going to Vegas, just so you guys know, Saturday and Sunday, we're doing a Goodfellas sit-down. Tommy would love to be there. I wish he'll be there in spirit. Trisha, you're invited. Want to come? Done. You're my guest. But we're doing, in Vegas, we're doing a Goodfellas sit-down with Sorvino Vino. And, and Trisha, you know this. Paul did a sculpture called, it was a boxer, and it's a really beautiful, beautiful sculpture. I have to send you the picture of it. But what it is, it's a boxer, and he's like, just fat. But the title of the sculpture is still champion. Tommy is still champion, and so are you.
Yeah.
We have to put that in the documentary.
Yeah.
We have to do
It's a beautiful sculpture.
That's a great.
And it looks like Tommy. It looks like Tommy.
I want to get a black room and just dark, and maybe put a orangish light above it, and then
still
go around it. That'd be cool.
Get the shadows just right. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I cannot wait for Trisha to have her day. I'm so angry about this.
Yeah.
And she's going to have her day. And Michael, thank you for joining in, and and I'm glad we're all going to get together and make it all work.
Well, I feel compelled to, and it's an honor.
If I had some money, if I had money, I'd throw some money at this. It's
you just be cheering everything on. That's important.
I am. I am. I mean,
we'll be the cheerleaders.
Yes,
we need cheerleaders. Yeah,
we need
to promote it.
Yep.
Because everybody likes the underdog, and right now, Tommy should not be the underdog, because he was like this good-looking, great boxer, and he was the guy ahead of the crowd. But then they screwed him over, and then now, 10 years later, with Trisha's help, the underdog is going to win. So it's ultimately the Rocky story. It's ultimately the Rocky story. And Trisha's kind of touched on where Sylvester Stallone is and some of these other people, but it's sort of, to me, it seems like they've left Trisha out on the island, but that's okay. She's strong enough. We're going to lift her up, and she doesn't even need lifted up. She's strong on her own, but it's always good to have a team. It's always good to have a team. And you're going to win, Trisha, and I'm so happy for you. It's all going to work. It's all going to work.
I'm excited.
Now, when I'm in jail for kicking Don King in the balls, you guys better bail me out.
I'll be next to her. She'll do it. I'll film it. I'll do it. She'll film it.
I'll hold his arms behind his back.
Sue Ann standing there going,
I will go to jail.
I would. I would.
No problem.
He looks like a troll doll on acid.
I know. He's a horrible. Horrible.
I don't. I mean,
So
that guy.
Michael, so do you think it really will be done? So tell me about what you're gonna. Okay, so what's the plan? I mean, are we gonna, are we going to do this like with the film, like with the movie festival circuit, or maybe submit it for Oscars, like
Oh,
documentary Oscar?
I mean
Which
that.
means that you have to put it in theaters, a few theaters. You know what the process is, right? To be able to get a Oscar nomination, which I think this
Well,
possibly could.
well, Dee Dee, you are the Emmy Award winner, so I'm gonna let you handle all that stuff. I'm just gonna make the documentary, and I got a psychology buddy that I want to bring in and have her kind of speak on this. I think it'll be really good because the psychological element of it all is like if I were to say, "Oh, there's a purple elephant over there," you're thinking, "Oh, there's a purple elephant over there." You believe it. So the power of media, this and
It
that.
is.
So we're just gonna lay it all. It's starting with the love story. We're laying it down. We're adding humor into it, edutainment, funny, informative,
Excellent.
to where you watch it and you go, "Wow, this is deplorable what they have done."
And
to these fine
compelling
people.
at the same time.
And compelling, yeah,
Compelling at the same time.
yeah,
And
exactly.
how can you not love Trisha? I mean, what makes me angry is I think these people, like she said, made her sort of like the bad widow. Are you kidding me? How can you be a bad widow? One. Secondly, how could Trisha be a bad widow? Are you kidding me? This is total crap. Time for the truth to come out. Time for Trisha to be the heroine that she is.
Yeah.
And for Tommy, for the truth to come out. I love it. It's all going to work. It's all meant to be. And I'm sorry it took 10 years, but we didn't know you 5, 6, or 7, or 8 years ago. So now it's time.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah,
Everything happens in its time.
it does.
And for a
right.
reason.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
What do you think, Sue Ann? You think it's going to
I
be a
think
big
it's
hit?
excellent.
I do.
It's going to be a huge hit. I'm super
I think
excited.
you can win an Academy Award for it. I have high hopes for this because it's so crazy. It's
Yeah.
so crazy and so crazy wrong. And then we fix it and everyone's like, wow, I am so moved. I think people will be moved. And Michael does good work. I mean, and plus not only that, Michael has the love of his life as well. I mean, he's very happy with Heidi. Heidi's lovely. So he gets the love story part. So I'm not surprised.
I do. I don't show it on the show much, but I am highly empathetic, and I think of my own wife if that happened to her, and it just, makes me sad, and then I get angry, and yeah. So we're gonna attack it, do a good job of it.
Yeah,
and it will touch a lot of it. It'll touch a lot of people that way. It'll touch a lot of people that way because, a love story, like Michael said, and Trisha knows, is very powerful. And when you're fighting for a decade for the love of your life, for the truth, wow. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't even know another story like that. Do you all know another story?
What that says. Think of what that says.
No.
I can't even think of another one that compelling.
When I think about it, I don't even think Don King deserves a kick in the balls. I think like a literal beatdown.
Look, I can do a pretty good kick in the ball. Just have my bail money ready. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right behind you.
And let the videographer there, because when I kick him in the balls, go to jail. Trisha's laughing or going.
We're just gonna have to pay the sound guy more. The sound guy is gonna be there, better one to point it right.
Yeah, right.
It made a little gush sound. We need to get it again.
Dee Dee, there'll be a video of me dragging him across the floor by his hair.
Love it.
By his troll
Trisha,
hair.
it's a team effort here. I'm telling you. We're in. We're your posse. We're your posse now.
Yeah, I just
right.
It's one of those things where it's like you actually said that to get him out of the boxing match. Are you effing kidding me?
I know.
You're okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But see, AIDS at the time was so mysterious and such taboo. Yeah. I mean, they got away with it. Well, not now, because after all this stupid COVID crap, everybody's like, oh, well, clearly he was lying. People are like, well, duh. I think then they were scared, and I think now, and that's why it's so good for time that gone by, even though it was turned on Trisha. Everybody's like, well, duh, now we know.
And
I live. Everyone sympathetic to Tommy and Trisha.
And I live over by, there's a Quest Diagnostics near me. In 2020, they saw record profits. Billions of dollars.
Wow.
I think like 400%
Yeah.
and they're the ones doing these tests. So you have these people putting out tests that are making money from making tests.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got to make the test better. I mean, the last one was okay, but it doesn't say what it is. Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's all about money for big pharma. They're the richest. They are so rich. Hey, you guys, it's not millions; it's a billions.
We're probably billions into the T's, even trillions.
Watch the Fugitive tonight.
Oh gosh!
Here we back to Harrison Ford. Trisha, and always goes back to Harrison Ford with Stephanie. It doesn't matter.
She's got an obsession.
And by the way, that makes no sense at all. 0 cents, Stephanie. That's okay. We love you anyway.
Just happens to be on her.
No, it actually, it's a drug that helps like fight cholesterol and it causes bleeding.
Yeah, nobody knows that except for Stephanie because it's such a minute point in the movie. Anyway, so Trisha, so what questions, because, you're out there doing your thing or whatever. I'm just curious, what is the most prevalent question of people, what they ask you or their comments to you? I'm just so curious about all of this. What do they say to you? They're like, what do they ask you more than anything else? And what do they comment on more than anything else?
They comment on everything that I've done, and they don't comment in a very nice way, some of them. And then,
really?
And then, but those people mainly, when they start targeting, for example, this podcast, they'll comment, and it's mainly paid pharma trolls, right?
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 jackpot.
Right.
And
billions with a B.
Yeah. And then the most popular question is, well, why didn't he get tested again? And my answer is, well, he did get tested again, but it also was not an FDA approved test that detects the virus. So, he kept on getting tested, but why are we not talking about the post-mortem is my response. Let's talk about his final diagnosis where he did not have the virus anywhere in his system. So, and like if somebody's listening right now and they go, no, he definitely had it because look at the photo. Well, if you're going by a photo of Tommy, then show me the post-mortem that you have that shows he has HIV/AIDS compared to the post-mortem that I have that was done by professionals and scientists in the field of virology and microbiology. So then they're quiet, right?
Yeah, because they don't know what they're talking about. And I think Tommy looks good there too. I mean, if you're a boxer and you're beefing up and you're working out, and then if you're not doing it as much, I mean, you're going to thin out, right? Aren't you going to slim down a bit?
Right. And in fact, Tommy did say that. He said there were 2 fighters, him and Vander Holyfield, that when they were not training, they would lose weight, as opposed to other fighters that would just sit and binge and put on weight, right? But the mugshot, I think, Michael, that's what we need to focus on. That everybody says, yeah, look, he's got AIDS. Look at the mugshot. Well,
like you can take. I'm sorry, I didn't know Kodak had the formula for AIDS. I didn't realize that. Thank you very much, Kodak. Really?
Right. Yeah, I mean the horrific stuff. We'll go through the horrific stuff of what he went through in jail for those 30 days for him to look like that. People need to know that.
Well, that's going to make anybody look like they've got AIDS. When I go to jail, when I kick Don King in the balls, I'm going to look like I have AIDS when I get out. Just saying. So everybody be ready. Dee Dee's got AIDS. It's so bad. But Trisha, I'm there for you. I'm ready to kick Don King in the balls, go to jail for you. I will do it. So, but we've got 2 minutes left. We need to do a drink picture. If you do have a drink, I've got my USA cup because I think Tommy Morrison and Trisha Morrison or Great American. So let's do that. So, Tommy, oh God, now we have Michael to do the picture. That's
Oh
so bad.
no!
Michael, take like 20. I swear to, please, I'm begging you. We need a good picture.
And don't get a picture of me with my eyes closed.
And do a good one. Do a bunch of them, please.
All right, everyone's smiling now. Ready? 3,
Do many.
2, 1. All right, that's one. Hang on. I gotta do it
That's
again.
so bad. I'm sorry, Trisha. When Michael does it, it's so horrible. But go ahead.
I know. I know.
He's a good filmmaker there, I promise.
There we go.
All right.
I'm gonna
Do
keep
one
doing
more.
it until I.
Oh my God! Everybody else does 50, and it takes
How do
Michael
they do it so
30 minutes
fast?
to do 3.
I don't know how they do it. Okay, here we go. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna.
Oh my God! This is so bad. Sorry,
Anybody's
Trisha.
eyes closed? I think
He's
I got
way
enough.
better
Okay.
at doing
Oh
the
my
docs in the movies. This is usually Tommy, but he had to see a sweetheart. Okay,
Yeah,
guys. So
I got
let's
3.
Trisha, let's wish luck with this wonderful and give lots of love for this wonderful doc. You're all going to be on the red carpet. We're going to make it all work. It's going to be fabulous.
All right. All right.
Trisha is the boss. She's the one doing this, and Michael is like, making it work. And I'm just there to help any way I can. So anyway, you will all be invited to the red
Well,
carpet.
you brought it together. Thanks for bringing it together and
Are
executive
you
producing
kidding?
it.
Happy to it. My heart goes out to Trisha, and of course, Michael's like my brother from another mother. So that's how it works. That's what we do. We help each other out, right, Trisha?
Yeah, we do. We really do.
Yeah.
It's all going to work. We'll all be on the red carpet. And when I'm in jail, please bail me out at some point. And when I look like I have AIDS at 30 days, just tell everybody I look good. That's all I ask. Love you, Trisha.
She's
And
got
Dee Dee,
cheekbones.
and
Nice
Dee Dee,
meeting you, Trisha.
don't let him
Thank you.
Epstein me.
Bye.
Yeah, no.
Don't let him do that to me.
Let's do a toast to Tommy.
Yeah.
All right.
To Tommy
Toast to
Morrison.
Tommy and Trisha.
To
Love you,
Tommy.
Trisha.
Trisha and
Tommy
Tommy,
and
a
Trisha.
love story.
That's
Love you
right.
too, guys.
Love
Thank you
you.
very
Love
much.
you. It's going to be great.
Thank
Gonna be
you.
great.
See you on the red carpet,
Okay.
girlfriend. All right.
Love you all.
Bye.
Good night.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.